Hello everyone, thank you for joining us for today's webinar where we will be answering all your burning questions that were asked during the Tekom Trade Fair in Germany. We will open the floor for a question and answer session at the end of the presentation. You can type in your questions in the chat box during the presentation as well, and we will get to your questions at the end of the webinar. Just to let you know, this webinar will be recorded and will be sent to everyone after the presentation. This webinar will be hosted by our business development team members, Brian Murray and Mihaly Lakatos. I will briefly introduce them before getting to the questions. If you were at Tekom, you probably have already spoken to them over a Guinness. Brian joined the company after completing a bachelor's degree in business and management from DIT Dublin. He assists translation agencies across the globe to better understand how custom machine translation can fit into their workflow, helping them to find a solution that best suits their need. Mihaly has extensive experience in sales and finance sector and has worked for some of the largest software development and hardware manufacturers across USA, Asia, and Europe. Now, without further delay, we'll go to the top questions that were asked during the Tekom Fair. So the first question, I'll get to the first question, both of you, was what are the benefits or drawback of using MT on cloud? Could you tell us the difference between cloud deployment and on-site deployment, guys?
Yes, hi everyone. We have actually a pretty big crowd here listening to us today. So let me jump to the first slide, and I'm going to answer Polumi's question. Just 1 second.
Brian, would you mind?
We have some technical issues. The computer is actually freezing. Please bear with us for a second. So here we are. So the answer is actually when you subscribe to our service, to our cloud service, you get an out-of-box solution. So you'll be able to use our services right away. Subscription billing is a very important factor because once you have an on-site deployment, you have to buy the hardware and you also have to have a maintenance personnel and you also have to count with downtimes. We also provide a fast customization because remotely we can help you with the whole customization process. As I said, you don't need to have a maintenance persona there because literally IT involvement is needed and we can host services remotely. And also, our servers are hosted by Amazon Web Services. That means you have no downtime and you have no maintenance downtimes either. And also, your data is saved on different locations. As I said, remote hosting is done, so no worries about the maintenance of the whole system. No hardware costs. As I mentioned, you are not buying the hardware. And you don't have to make large capex or capital expenditure. And of course, upgrades are included in our services. So once we actually change something in our systems, the upgrades will be done on the servers and you won't see any downtimes either. In terms of security, we take security very seriously and we apply military grade encryption. And also, we are keeping the data of our customers in separate silos, and we won't reuse or recycle the data what you give us. And I give the word to Palumi again because she has the next question.
All right, thank you so much, Mihaly. The next question I think that you faced a lot, were asked a lot, was is it possible to connect KantanMT with other CAD tools? Brian, thanks.
Yeah, well, so the short answer is it is. So with KantanMT, there are a number of ways to translate your files. So the first thing that you have to do before this, and this doesn't change regardless, obviously you have to build your engine. And then once you have done that, you can obviously translate your files. So as I said, you can do this on the KantanMT platform. However, you can also use your various CAD tools to do this. And it's very simple, really. So all you have to do is you get an API code in the Canton site, and then you integrate with your different CAD tools, whether that be Lakatos or MemberQ, and so on. And how this would appear in your CAD tool is, if you're familiar with, let's say, Lakatos, it appears in the exact same way. that something coming from your translation memory would appear. So except anything below it, let's say a fuzzy match score of 85%, rather than having to deal with something that hasn't been translated before, you have empty generated text that appears in a way that you're very used to. So that's one of the developments at the moment. Is we're actually very soon going to announce a connector with a cross as well. So that's something we're very excited about. Over to you, Plummy.
Thank you. That's exciting. So the next question is, what are the benefits of using a customized MT system? We talk about it a lot, but what are the benefits of using?
So the next slide will be really about having your own customized MT systems instead of building your own system. So once you actually have your subscription with us, you have access to a cumbersome technology that is a major product, and there are no hidden bugs there. And we also make it possible for you to deploy the engines instantly, so you can start the translation process right away. We also provide you with support. So if you have some technical issues and you don't understand how training data actually are created, and if you actually lack training data, we give you also support. We actually, as I said, we provide you with pre-cleansed training data. So if you don't have any translation memories there, we help you to start the translation process right away. If you have a language pair that is not that doesn't have training data at all, we can provide you with data collation services. So what we can do, we go to your website and we will apply one of our services called Spider, and we will actually gather monolingual data, and we will use that for the translation. And also user-friendly user interface is very important, because we provide you with several different tools for achieving the desired translation quality. As I said, if you have training data, customization is really an easy job. We can use your own data, and the customization can be done in a very short period of time. And last but not least, cost effectiveness is very important. It costs just a fraction of 1 euro cent to translate the word once you have a proper engine in deployment.
Brilliant, yeah. Thanks, Mihaly. We'll get on to the next question. How can I involve my translators in the language quality review process?
So I suppose this is something, Plummy, that's very important. And I suppose, as you can see, some of the reasons why this is, for example, by involving your reviewers in the process, it helps improve the quality of your MT output, and it can also give you more accurate estimation of quality. But I think most importantly in this is that it improves the relationship between your project manager and your reviewers by, I suppose, bringing better collaboration. And what that does is it will provide better MT output. And it also, I suppose, there is a bit of skepticism from some reviewers towards towards using MT, and by involving them in that process, it really, it can really get them on board, and it's something that works very well, we find. So what we have done is we've developed something called Canton LQR. And Canton LQR is a tool that's used by both your project managers and your reviewers, and it is used at the LQR stage of MT. So that is basically the last stage of reviewing an MT out engine before it goes into production. So, and what that would involve is basically uploading a test document that you want to translate and reviewing the quality of that. So when we do this, you can upload your customized KPIs, so you can select a number of different KPIs, whether that be stuff like your style or accuracy and so on. And then you can also, we have the MQM framework. However, we also allow you to create your own KPIs. So for example, maybe you just want to know, is this quality readable? Or is this understandable? And you can create that KPI, and you can use different scoring systems depending on what you feel is suitable. Also, we provide very accurate accurate and fluid scoring metrics and scoring feedback for you, which can further better your understanding of the quality of your output. And also, another brilliant thing about this is because you have so many translators involved in the process, I suppose it takes out that somewhat subjective manner when you're reviewing the quality. So the more translators you have involved, and the more accurate that quality is, and also the quicker you can finish this LQR product. And regarding the speed, I suppose how streamlined the process is, it means that that further improves the speed. So the Canton LQR is something that helps us do that, and it's a feature we're very excited about.
Brilliant, thank you. So the next question, I suppose, is, can we use one account with KantanMT and have a team of translators working on it?
So basically, once the account owner is granted with the access, he can appoint from 5 to 15 users that can gain access to our platform. It really depends on the plan what you're on. So if you have a basic plan, you have 5 users that can have access to the platform. If you have a medium business plan, then you can appoint 10 users, and if you have the enterprise plan, there are 15 users that can access the platform. Then they all have different usernames. So the account owner will give them the access, and they will all access a different username.
Brilliant, thank you. Thanks, Mihaly. And I think that's a really good feature that we have come up with very recently, and it's really helping a lot of clients of ours. We'll move on to the next question then. What type of content is best suited for translating with KantanMT?
I suppose this is probably one of the most important questions related to MT, because it is what defines the quality of your engine. And there are a number of different factors that include this. So, I mean, I think one thing to speak about this is one of the most common questions we get is how much data do we need to build a good engine? And the answer is there isn't really an answer, because there are a number of different factors that affect that. And the first one is the type of content. So the more technical and granular your content is, the better suited we say it is for MT. And also the type of languages that you're using. So the Romance languages would be the best language, we say, for MT. However, that doesn't mean we can't use other languages. So another factor that improves the quality of your MT output is how closely linked your source and target languages are. Finally, of course, the quality of your translation memories is very important. Not only how big they are, but the quality and the relevance of the relevance to what you want to translate is very important as well. However, if you don't have relevance to our TMs with a lot of content, we do have a solution for that, and it's a feature we launched over the summer called Canton Fleet. So Canton Fleet is a set of domain-specific, customizable, pre-built machine translation engines. And the reason we launched this feature, as we said, is because we found that some of our clients were really anxious to use MT, but they just didn't have the data that they required. So what we did was we scoured, I suppose, open source areas all over the internet, and indeed license areas, where we could get bilingual data. So, and these came from areas such as TAUS and the European Union, for example. And so far, we have produced 104 Canton Fleet engines, and they are available in 5 different domains, and they are legal, technical, financial, medical, and automotive. So, in relation to using Canton Fleet, there are a number of different ways of doing it. So, it's a very flexible tool that you can use. You can either use solely a Canton Fleet engine without using any of your data. And the advantage of that is that you can start translating straight away because you don't have to build an engine. However, you can also just add your glossary and terminology files, which obviously allows you to further improve the vocabulary of your engine. And the advantage of this is it still doesn't take a huge amount of time to start translating, but it gives you that, I suppose, that slightly superior level of vocabulary. And then again, there's the full Monty approach, I suppose, and we would recommend that you use this, is that you can integrate your own translation memories with a Canton Fleet engine. Now, with this approach, it will take slightly longer to build an engine because these Canton Fleet engines most of them have upwards of 100 million training words, which is huge, really, and it just, I suppose, give you an idea of the scale of these engines. So you can add then to that Fleet engine, you can add your own bilingual and monolingual data. And when you do this, you really are going to get a highly customized, highly accurate MT engine.
All right, thank you, Brian. I'll go on to the next question, which you have been asked a lot, I think. What are the KantanMT pricing models?
Yeah, so as for the pricing models, actually there's one more slide here. I'm just going to move forward, and here you can see our pricing models. Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you any figures today because when we actually, our solution is really a bespoke solution, and therefore our pricing models are really bespoke as well. So before we provide pricing to our customers, we would sit down with them and we talk about their business needs and go through how we are going to implement the project, and we consider different factors. So what I can talk about here, the different factors, what we consider, and how the pricing is actually built up. So the core pricing, depending on what service level you are on, we have actually 3 different service levels or plans, price plans, as we have different users in different industries and users of different sizes. We have small businesses among our users, medium businesses, and enterprise size companies as well. So we kind of came up with a business model that we can apply for all of the different businesses. And the figures, of course, are different for each businesses depending on their needs and their size. But what's the same in each case is the monthly subscription fee. So that's the core price there, and that's different for small businesses, medium businesses, and enterprise-size companies. The cost per word is the other pricing factor. That is actually how many words you translate with our system. So these are the 2 prices what determine your monthly cost in terms of machine translation. The other factors that I marked there with stars, those are optional services that are professional services we provide, and that is data collation, engine building, and managed MT. Data collation means, as I mentioned, if you don't have any translation memories, or actually all professional services can go through your website and can collect monolingual data from there, or they can either try to find other resources to create training data for you. And engine building is really the process when they will provide you with engine building services. So they will indeed build the engines for you, and you can just sit back and relax. And managed MT service is really that's a long-term cooperation. So we will actually take care of your engine, and we will consider always. We will monitor how your engine is performing, and basically we will hold your hand in the long run. So as I said, no figures today, but I'm happy to sit down with any of you guys and talk about your business needs. And we try to be very flexible when it comes to pricing, because our interest is really to expand our user community in the long run and to provide them with the best services.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mihaly. I see we have a couple of questions. We'll get to one of the questions. The asker had met you guys in Stuttgart, I suppose. They asked that in Stuttgart, I was told KantanMT is dedicated specially for Asian languages. If we have TMs, what minimum number of segments do we need to have good results from English into Asian languages? And I think the next part of the question is, do we also have French as a source language?
Okay, well, first off, thanks for your question. regarding us being specialized towards the Asian languages, I'm not exactly sure how that was brought about, but of course we do translate in the Asian languages. But the nature of statistical machine translation means that we can cover languages all over the world. So I think we currently support something like 47 different languages. So regarding how many segments you would need, as I kind of touched on earlier, that really, it depends on the content. So to build most good engines, you'd say you would need about 1,200,000 words. But obviously that depends on the type of content you're using and the quality of your TMs. But I mean, if you would like to contact us after to, I suppose, give us some more details on the type of content that you would like to translate, then we'd love to give you a more accurate answer on that. And then regarding French as a source language, yes, of course, French it's one of our most common languages, and indeed it works very well with MT, as it is one of the Romance languages that we spoke about earlier.
And also, in terms of the Asian languages, we are implementing a new reordering system, so that will also have the improved quality of Asian languages.
Absolutely, there's research going on that, and we have got really good results in word reordering. There is a question here, and sorry about this. What does KPI and MQM, what's the full form of that? So sorry, KPI is Key Performance Indicator, and MQM is multi-dimensional
quality matrix.
Absolutely.
Yes, so MQM is basically a framework to standardize, that's used, I suppose, to standardize rating the quality of your translations in the localization industry. And so obviously it's something that we felt was very important to implement in Canton LQR. Obviously you don't have to use this, but it's something that's there for you to use if you want. And then regarding KPIs, or key performance indicators, these are basically they're similar, I suppose, to MQM, except KPI is more of a generalized terms. So key performance indicators, it might be something like the style or the quality of your vocabulary, or it could be something even as simple as, is this quality readable? So KPI would be more broad than MQM.
Right. So Brian, if I understand this right, KPI would kind of be your main thing, which would be based off MQM at times. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I suppose the different metrics that lie within MQM would be KPIs themselves.
All right, thank you. Thanks for that explanation. We'll see if we have any more questions, or actually we might be running out of time today. I think we should finish our webinar here today, and if there are any more questions, we'd be happy to answer them. You can mail us at info@KantanMT.com, and we'll be sending the recording of this webinar to all of you. Once again, thank you so much for your time, and thanks for joining us. Thank you, Mihaly and Brian, for this presentation.
Thank you, Paloma.
And also, guys, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. We're happy to contact you, and just to put the face behind the names. It's just good. Even if we go to different conferences, it's good to meet in person and have a conversation, have a coffee, and just get to know each other.
Very true. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.